These are the 10 oldest exercises that still forge brutal strength today. If you believe that to transform your body and gain strength, you need a gym packed with the most sophisticated equipment, the best personal trainers, and expensive supplements, it's time to rethink all of that. Because our ancestors were true endurance beasts who used only their body weight and what nature provided. And the most incredible part is that despite many doubts, these movements continue to work as well as, or even better than, many modern workouts. Spartan warriors, Roman gladiators, and Nordic Vikings built intimidating physiques without a single technological device. And now you'll learn 10 ancestral exercises that build raw functional strength, proving that the human body is the most efficient machine ever created. So stay tuned until the end, because exercise number 4 is considered the wild card of this repertoire, and once you try it, you'll love the challenge. The first exercise is the box jump, which replicates our ancestors' need to leap over natural obstacles like streams or fallen logs, developing leg explosiveness by standing in front of a stable platform, bending the knees, swinging the arms, and jumping with full power, landing with your feet flat on the surface and absorbing the impact with a tight core. Next is the log drag, which simulates carrying heavy wood or stones. You attach a rope to a sturdy object, lean your torso forward, and drag against ground resistance, strengthening the posterior chain, glutes, lower back, and hamstrings. Then comes the stone throw, inspired by primitive hunters who hurled stones at high speed to take down prey. You hold a stone or kettlebell, squat slightly, rotate your torso, and project the weight forward, working shoulders, core, and coordination. The fourth exercise is the hanging plank, a static strength test where you hang from a bar with your body extended like a board, demanding endurance from the shoulders, forearms, and abdomen. The fifth exercise is the deep bodyweight squat, which improves leg mobility and strength, as squatting until your hips drop below the knee line without lifting your heels naturally recruits the quadriceps, glutes, and stabilizers. The sixth exercise, the farmer's walk, involves carrying heavy objects in your hands and walking upright, challenging your grip, core, and posture functionally. The seventh is the arched push-up with shoulder taps, a push-up variation where at the top you alternately tap the opposite shoulder, demanding increased shoulder and core control. The eighth is the depth jump, where you leap off a box to the ground and immediately perform a vertical jump, enhancing elastic reflex and muscular power. The ninth exercise is the inverted row, performed underneath a fixed bar, pulling your chest toward it while keeping your body straight, strengthening the lats, biceps, and core in an integrated way. Finally, the 10th exercise is the bear crawl, a hands and feet movement pattern with elevated hips that mimics stalking and ambushing, requiring shoulder, core, and hip stability. These 10 exercises, done only with body weight and simple objects, create a complete program that develops strength, endurance, mobility, and coordination, proving that ancestral techniques remain as relevant and effective today. How incredible would it be to see your body transforming intelligently and completely safely? I invite you to join our community, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to receive all content firsthand. And tell me in the comments, which of these aspects do you feel you most need to develop? Strength, stability, balance, or maybe that pesky back pain that keeps popping up? I want to hear your experiences so I can create videos increasingly aligned with your needs. Let's go on this journey together. Lower yourself under control and repeat. Start at a comfortable height and perform 3 sets of 8 jumps. This movement will develop insane power in your quadriceps, glutes, and calves, while drastically improving your coordination and cardiovascular capacity. The box jump activates your fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones that allow you to generate explosive force in emergency situations. And, unlike modern machines that isolate muscles, this jump integrates your entire central nervous system with your muscular system, creating neuromotor patterns your body instinctively recognizes. A common mistake is landing with straight legs, which can overload the joints. Always keep your knees slightly bent to absorb the impact. Another frequent misstep is attempting excessive height right away. Start low and increase gradually, because perfect technique is more important than height. In just a few weeks, you'll notice impressive gains not only in your jumps, but in any movement requiring leg explosiveness. Now, to diversify your training and further tap into ancestral strength, I present the 7th exercise, the front-loaded farmer's walk, also known as the bear hug walk. Inspired by ancient people's routines for building shelters and tools, you hug a heavy, bulky object like a sandbag, a barrel of water, or even a heavy medicine ball against your chest. Keep your torso upright, brace your core, and walk for 30 to 60 seconds, feeling every muscle fight to stabilize the load. This exercise absurdly strengthens your abs, arms, chest, and legs, representing the purest form of functional strength. Our ancestors didn't separate leg day from chest day. They required a fully integrated body in which every fiber worked in synergy. The bear hug walk perfectly simulates this effort. By pressing the weight into your torso, your entire system goes into survival mode, recruiting everything from shoulder stabilizers to deep core muscles. To maximize results, vary your pace and lean your torso slightly forward at intervals to challenge balance and increase fiber recruitment. Tailor the load to your level, progressing from lighter objects to progressively heavier weights, and always pay attention to posture and breathing. Exhale as you walk and inhale before each step. By incorporating this exercise into the 10-movement ancestral circuit, you'll not only rebuild the brute strength of millennia-old warriors, but also develop endurance, mobility, and coordination in a complete, integrated way. Your core automatically contracts to protect the spine while your arms and shoulders work isometrically to support the weight, and your legs generate strength and stability to move it. One of the greatest benefits of this exercise is the development of the so-called hug strength, something no gym machine can replicate. This strength is crucial not only for daily activities, like carrying groceries or children, but also for any contact sport or emergency situation. When performing the bear hug walk, inhale deeply and keep your abdomen contracted throughout the movement, avoiding rounding your back and maintaining a neutral spine with your shoulders slightly retracted. Start with a load you can hold for 30 seconds and increase it gradually. In just 1 month, you'll experience core stability and hug strength worthy of ancient monument builders. Now, moving on to the 6th exercise of the 10 Ancestral Movements program, we introduce the Australian pull-up, which reconnects you to our ancestors' primordial need to pull their own body weight to climb trees, rugged cliffs, and improvised structures. Position yourself under a horizontal bar, grip it with your hands shoulder-width apart, and keep your body aligned from heels to head, with your heels on the ground. The more parallel your torso is to the ground, the more challenging the movement. Pull your chest toward the bar, keeping your elbows close to your body and your scapulae fully retracted. Then lower yourself with strict control to maximize recruitment of the posterior chain muscle fibers. A common mistake is allowing the hips to sag during execution, which reduces the exercise's effectiveness and places excess strain on the lower back. Always maintain a straight line and complete the full range of motion, fully extending your arms on the return. Additionally, avoid bending your wrists and choose a bar with a comfortable diameter to ensure a secure grip. The resistance of Australian pull-ups stimulates the biceps, lats, traps, and core simultaneously, promoting not only pulling strength but also postural stability. To further advance, vary your foot height. Start with bent knees and, as you gain strength, extend your legs to increase the incline angle. Another advanced variation is alternating shoulder taps at the top of the movement, challenging your core and coordination even more. By integrating this exercise into the 10-movement circuit, you strengthen not just isolated muscle groups, but also refine ancestral neuromotor patterns that guarantee endurance, mobility, and readiness to face any physical challenge, whether lifting loads, climbing uneven surfaces, or reacting explosively in emergencies. Continuing the ancestral repertoire, the next exercises will explore skills like pushing, twisting, and balancing under load, delivering a complete program that combines power, endurance, and functionality from head to toe. When performing Australian pull-ups, make sure to touch your chest to the bar, or at least get as close as possible, and fully extend your arms on the descent. Start with 3 sets of 8 repetitions and gradually increase as your strength improves. If the movement feels too easy, elevate your feet or adopt a more horizontal position to intensify the load. If it's too challenging, stay more vertical. This exercise acts as a true springboard to develop the strength needed for full pull-ups, a brute ancestral movement that prepares your body for any demanding pull. Next, we arrive at the 5th exercise of the 10-movement circuit, the farmer's walk, evoking the image of field workers carrying heavy buckets and sacks back and forth during endless days. To perform it, hold a sturdy weight in each hand, kettlebells, dumbbells, water jugs, or stones. Keep your shoulders back, chest up, and core braced, then walk in a straight line for a set distance or time. Though the action seems simple, within seconds you'll feel the intensity of recruiting countless muscles at once. Your forearms will fight to grip the weight, your shoulders and traps will stabilize the load, your core will work tirelessly to maintain posture, and your glutes and legs will generate the propulsion needed, developing grip strength, core endurance, and postural coordination in an integrated way. To amplify the benefits, vary your route. Try sandy trails, gentle inclines, or even abrasive surfaces, challenging your body to adapt to different demands. Introduce speed intervals, accelerate your pace for 10 to 15 seconds, then recover actively, and notice how your cardiovascular and mental capacities improve. A common mistake is letting the shoulders roll forward. Always keep your scapulae retracted and avoid walking hunched over, as this can wear down your lower back. To progress, gradually increase the weight or turn the exercise into lateral walks, creating a multi-dimensional stimulus that also strengthens your hip abductors and adductors. Moreover, by the end of the 5th segment of the circuit, you'll already feel your body integrated and warmed up to move on to the 6th exercise, ensuring a complete and ancestral 10-step workout that not only revives millennia-old techniques but also elevates them to the level of modern functional strength. And while we're at it, let us know in the comments, had you already incorporated this type of squat into your daily routine? Did you notice any difference when using a chair for support? Your feedback is essential for us to keep growing together. I read every comment and use your insights to plan upcoming videos, always focused on delivering what will truly improve your quality of life. So write below, which exercise challenged you the most? Or which part of your body do you feel needs strengthening? We'll walk this path side by side, one movement at a time. Moreover, your entire cardiovascular system is pushed to the limit, creating an impressive metabolic effect that continues to burn calories even after the workout ends. Common mistakes in this exercise include rounding your shoulders forward, holding your breath, and taking excessively long steps. Therefore, always start with weights that allow you to walk for at least 30 seconds without dropping the load. As you get stronger, gradually increase the weight or the distance because the impact on your grip strength is unparalleled. It's worth remembering that grip strength is considered one of the most reliable indicators of overall strength and even longevity. It's no accident that old-time farmhands had bone-crushing handshakes. Before moving on to exercise number 4, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to accurate science-based information is what ensures healthy, lasting progress in the world of bodybuilding. Now, on to the 4th movement, dead hangs, or simply hanging from a bar without any active movement. a practice our ancestors naturally performed when hanging from tree branches to gather fruit or move through the canopy. Though it seems passive, this is one of the most powerful workouts for developing brute strength in the arms, shoulders, and especially the forearms, dramatically improving your grip strength, just like the farmer's walk. But its greatest benefit is undoubtedly spinal decompression, relieving accumulated tension, and strengthening the entire natural suspension chain, trapezius, rhomboids, lats, and posterior deltoids, while creating a deep stretch effect that can improve your posture and flexibility. To perform it correctly, grip the bar at a comfortable width, let your body fully relax, but keep your core slightly braced to protect your lower back, and maintain a neutral spine while holding for as long as you can, breathing in a controlled manner and avoiding shrugging your shoulders toward your ears. Start with 3 sets of 30 seconds, and as you progress, increase the time or try variations such as neutral grip, pronated and supinated dead hangs, as well as small controlled swings to further activate your shoulder stabilizers. When combined with the 10-movement ancestral circuit, this exercise not only intensifies your suspension strength and endurance, but also prepares your body for full pull-ups, serving as the ideal bridge between isolation exercises and complex pulls, consolidating a functional ancestral training that shapes strength, mobility, coordination, and endurance in an integrated, efficient way. When performing Australian pull-ups, make sure to touch your chest to the bar or get as close as possible, fully extending your arms on the descent. Start with 3 sets of 8 reps and increase gradually, adjusting foot elevation to vary difficulty and ensure steady progress. Next, the farmer's walk pushes your cardiovascular system to the limit and recruits muscles from your forearms to your glutes. You must carry heavy loads without rounding your shoulders, breathe in and out in a controlled manner to avoid holding your breath, walk for at least 30 seconds, and as you gain strength, increase the weight, distance, or tackle uneven terrain. Remember, a strong grip is one of the best indicators of longevity. Before moving on, don't forget to subscribe for continuous access to proven ancestral protocols. Now, in the 4th exercise of the 10-movement circuit, dead hangs revive the practice of hanging from branches to gather fruit or traverse tree canopies, a seemingly passive move that actually acts as a spinal decompressor, an isometric stressor for the trapezius, rhomboids, lats, and posterior deltoids, while also preparing the body for full pull-ups. Maintain a neutral spine, relaxed shoulders, and a slightly engaged core. Breathe deeply and avoid shrugging your shoulders toward your ears as you hang for as long as possible. Moving on, we reach exercise 3, the burpee, originally created by physiologist Royal H. Burpee in the 1930s to assess military conditioning, and now recognized as one of the most complete general fitness tests. It combines a deep squat, explosive thrust, hand-to-ground plank, and immediate vertical jump into one movement cycle that skyrockets your heart rate, recruits both the posterior and anterior chains simultaneously, and creates a prolonged metabolic effect that continues burning calories hours after your workout. To execute it perfectly, begin standing, squat deeply until your hands reach the ground, extend your legs back into a solid plank, keep your core braced at all times, return your legs to the squat position mirroring the initial movement, then thrust your arms overhead into a jump, landing with a slight knee bend to protect your joints. Repeat for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps according to your level, adjusting speed to prioritize both power and endurance. Additionally, you can incorporate a push-up in the plank phase to increase difficulty and engage your chest and triceps. This exercise encapsulates the ancestral struggle for survival, simulating dodges, sudden attacks, and rapid predator escapes, and serves as a bridge between strength work and cardiovascular conditioning. By integrating the burpee as the 3rd step in your 10-exercise ancestral workout, you not only honor the extreme performance of early humans, but also strengthen your core, upper, and lower body in an integrated way, developing coordination, endurance, explosiveness, and mental resilience to face any modern physical challenge with the strength and grit of our ancestors. To perform a burpee, start standing, descend deeply into a squat until your hands touch the ground, then kick your feet back into a solid plank position with your body aligned from heels to head, keeping your core braced and your gaze slightly forward. Next, perform a full push-up by lowering your chest toward the floor with elbows close to your sides and scapulae retracted, avoiding a sagging hip. Then drive your legs back up to the squat position with explosive force. Finally, launch yourself upward in an explosive jump, fully extending your arms overhead and landing softly with knees slightly bent to protect the joints. Each repetition is a brutal test of endurance, coordination, strength, and mental grit, as this exercise literally recruits every major muscle group: quadriceps, glutes, core, chest, shoulders, and arms in one fluid movement. Common mistakes include allowing the spine to collapse in the plank, failing to complete the push-up, and losing jump explosiveness, as well as sacrificing technique for speed. Therefore, favor smaller sets with perfect form over many poorly executed reps. Begin with 3 sets of 5 reps, resting 1 to 2 minutes between sets. As your endurance and motor control improve, gradually work up to 10, 15, or even 20 reps per set, or add an extra push-up during the plank phase to intensify the chest and tricep stimulus. Consistent burpee practice creates a prolonged metabolic effect, keeping calorie burn elevated for hours after your workout, while also developing the explosive power and cardiovascular capacity akin to the chases and escapes that ensured our ancestors' survival. Next, we move on to the second exercise, the Goblet Squat. This movement revives the natural deep sitting position of ancient peoples and adds load to recruit even more lower body muscle. Hold a weight against your chest, whether a kettlebell, a polished stone, or a sturdy clay jar. With both hands around the object, elbows tight to your torso, stand with feet shoulder-width apart, toes slightly turned out, and descend by pushing your hips back until they drop below knee level without lifting your heels, keeping your torso upright and core braced. On the ascent, press through your heels and squeeze your glutes at the top to ensure joint stability and maximum recruitment of quadriceps, hamstrings, adductors, and glutes. One of the greatest benefits of the Goblet Squat is the instant improvement in ankle, knee, and hip mobility, as the front load encourages a greater range of motion safely, preventing low back pain and muscle imbalances common in modern life. For those with back discomfort, this variation is ideal because the weight position organizes posture and demands continuous core activation to avoid excessive forward lean. Start with 3 sets of 8 reps, adjusting depth to your level, and progress by increasing the weight or, for advanced trainees, experimenting with holds for several seconds at the bottom position to intensify muscle stress and isometric endurance. Incorporating the Goblet Squat into a 10-exercise ancestral program delivers not only brute strength and functionality, but also mobility, balance, and body awareness, resurrecting the natural movement patterns our ancestors maintained in their daily lives. To perform the Goblet Squat perfectly, hold a kettlebell or dumbbell neutrally by its upper handles with both hands, keeping it close to your chest. Position your feet shoulder-width apart or slightly wider with toes turned out just a bit. Keep your spine aligned and chest lifted. If your mobility allows, lower yourself in a controlled manner until your thighs drop below knee level, ensuring your heels remain firmly planted. This pressing through the heels is essential for driving back to the start position and squeezing your glutes powerfully at the top. This exercise not only builds strength in the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, adductors, and core, but also teaches proper deep squat mechanics. The front load naturally tilts your torso toward a more vertical posture, making the Goblet Squat both a therapeutic tool for those with mobility limitations and a powerful functional strength method. Common mistakes include lifting the heels, losing stability, and revealing ankle mobility restrictions, letting the knees cave inward, which increases injury risk, and rounding the lower back, which overloads the spine. To avoid these issues, start with a lightweight and focus on flawless technique before adding load. Another frequent error is not descending deeply enough. A depth that takes the hips below or at least level with the knees activates the glutes and hamstrings far more than a partial squat. Begin with 3 sets of 10 reps using a moderate weight. As your strength and technique improve, gradually increase the weight or the rep count, or add variations such as pausing for a few seconds at the bottom to intensify isometric stress, or holding an unstable object to challenge proprioception. Now, for the first of the 10 ancestral exercises, we have the rocking, a simple yet relentless movement that involves walking with weight on your back. Inspired by the routes taken by ancient hunters, warriors, and migrants who carried loads of tens of kilograms over long distances, Roman legionnaires, for example, marched with up to 40 kilograms of gear, building near supernatural endurance. To practice the rocking, place a sturdy backpack, sandbag, or solid log on your shoulders, secure it firmly, and walk over varied terrain, alternating uphill, downhill, and rugged surfaces, while keeping your torso upright, core braced, and breathing rhythmic. Inhale as you lift your foot, exhale as you place your heel down. This movement pattern recruits the posterior chain, hip stabilizers, shoulders, and even calf muscles in synergy. Common mistakes include leaning forward, overloading the lower back, holding your breath, and taking steps that are too long, which reduces exercise efficiency and induces premature fatigue. To progress, vary the weight and distance, try sand or mud paths, incorporate pauses and bursts of speed, alter torso height with slight leans to challenge different ranges of motion, and further build cardiovascular endurance, grip strength, and postural stability. In this way, the rocking launches your 10 ancestral movements, providing the endurance and conditioning foundation that underpins later explosive, pulling, and hanging exercises, creating a comprehensive, fluid program deeply rooted in our ancestors' practices. The rocking exercise, although it seems simple, hides one of the most comprehensive workouts there is. To begin, you only need a sturdy backpack loaded with about 10 to 20% of your body weight, using everyday objects like books, water bottles, or sandbags. Position it correctly, high on your back, and prevent it from sagging. Keep your shoulders back, chest open, and core braced, then start walking with firm, controlled steps. Pay attention not to let the load swing excessively and breathe rhythmically, inhaling as you lift one foot and exhaling as you place your heel down, transforming walking into a brutal strength exercise that primarily recruits the legs, back, and core, while forcing bones, tendons, and ligaments to adapt to a functional overload stimulus that isolation machines cannot replicate. By adding weight to your walk, you drastically multiply calorie expenditure, burning nearly twice as many calories as a regular walk. You also develop impressive cardiorespiratory endurance, since maintaining an upright posture and an engaged core for extended periods creates continuous isometric work that strengthens your fundamental structure, prevents lower back pain, and improves daily posture. The most common mistake is starting with too much weight, which overloads the joints and can cause injuries. Therefore, always begin light, gradually increase the load, and prioritize perfect technique over distance traveled or load amount. 30 minutes of rocking 3 times a week is enough to feel real benefits, such as stronger legs, a more stable torso, and cardiovascular capacity worthy of a Roman legionnaire. Another frequent slip-up is allowing the torso to lean forward, which strains the lower back and reduces training efficiency. Keep your spine aligned and eyes forward, and avoid steps that are too long, which can compromise balance. To progress, experiment with varied terrain, walk on gentle inclines, sandy trails, gravel, or even rough surfaces. Insert acceleration intervals by boosting your pace for 20 to 30 seconds before returning to your normal stride. You can also change direction, including lateral movements to activate your hip abductors and adductors. These variations not only intensify muscle recruitment but also challenge your balance and proprioception, creating a multi-dimensional stimulus that yields gains in grip strength, postural stability, muscular endurance, and cardiovascular endurance. Finally, remember to adjust the backpack strap so the weight sits stable and comfortable, preventing shoulder pain. Always perform a brief joint warm-up before starting rocking. Mobilize your ankles, knees, and hips to ensure range of motion and prevent injury. With these precautions, rocking becomes the first of 10 ancestral exercises that will shape your strength, endurance, and mobility in an integrated way, resurrecting ancient movement patterns and adapting them to your modern training. What resonated with me the most was the idea of reclaiming confidence in my own movements, especially through exercises like rocking and the Goblet Squat, which simultaneously train strength, mobility, and posture. I feel that, like many others, I need to improve my balance and strengthen my core to ward off that nagging backache that keeps coming back. For me, the greatest victory lies in consistency. It's the daily sum of these small challenges: 30 minutes of rocking, a few sets of goblet squats, well-executed burpees, that over time transform both body and mind. Every time I keep my torso stable under load, I notice not only greater physical strength, but also more confidence when climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even playing with the kids. And you? Which of these points sparked the biggest insight for your routine? Share your impressions and victories below. I read every comment with care and use each story to plan future content. If this video ignited a spark in you, subscribe with an open heart and hit the notification bell to get all upcoming content firsthand. And please leave courage in the comments so we know you're with us till the end. Who knows, your courage might be exactly the push someone else needs today to take the first step. I'll be waiting for you there.